Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today, once again, we're here to have discussion on the things that are happening in Nigeria. As you know, we discussed yesterday about the Kano State High Court's order and the one of the Federal High Court. But the authorities in Kano State has decided to move on with the elections, tomorrow being Saturday. And they say that nobody can stop it. And of course, we have also the police coming out to state clearly that they are not participating in the election as envisaged by the Federal High Court in Kano, but they are there to safeguard the lives of people that are about to cast their votes come Saturday. And let's take a listen to that before we come back.
My name is SP Abdullah Haruna Kiyawa, the Public Relations Officer of Kano State Police Command. The position of the law is very clear. Section 4 of the Police Act 2020 as amended provides the responsibility of the Nigeria Police Force, which is protection of life and property. And of course, you are very much aware of the court order received by the police command here in Kano. Item 9 of the order provided that the police should not participate in the coming local government election in the state. The police in Kano are not participating in the election. But however, it is our responsibility to ensure no breakdown of law and order in the state, and we are always alive to our responsibilities. The State Commissioner of Police, CP Salman Dogo Garba, has already directed all the command's operational commanders to ensure protection of life and property in Kano State. And he directed for continuous round-the-clock visibility patrols to ensure that the inhabitants of the state are safe. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So that is the police from Kano State saying they are also going ahead with that. So I think that is congrats to the Kano State government for going ahead with their election. But from Kano, let's quickly touch Abuja, which is the major place. And we need to have discussion on the issues happening in Abuja. I have Angel in the studio and I have active obedience who are with us on the Zoom to have discussions on what is transpiring between Yeson Wike, who is actually romancing the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kekere-Ekun. And of course, it's obvious now that the Federal High Court in Abuja are working for Wike. Of course, we know he's getting limousines for them, he's getting houses for them, and revoking properties to give to the judges. And that is what we see happening. So that is the major discussion. And the High Court today, being Friday, has moved to actually stop the funds going to the local governments of River State, and by not admitting a hold or putting a hold on the litigation going on the court. So let's start with that from the studio. Angel, you see, Wike, yesterday we just spoke about his high-heartedness, you know, dealing with the residents and the protest that is going in Abuja. But today again, we see what the high courts are doing.
Good day, my well-active citizens and obedient worldwide. Welcome. Tell your neighbor, say hope day, but not in our politicians or in our leaders, but in God. Welcome. Let's discuss. Yes, Mr. Kanu, we discussed about Wike yesterday, and today again, he's in the news again. This man, I don't even know the adjective to qualify him. I don't even know whether he wants to turn himself to
Yeah, but what happened
president.
in court today, as we can see, the Martin Samahule led assembly, Rivers Assembly, went to this high court, and I think it's Justice Joyce,
yes,
obviously wants to grant them you know, for the CBN to stop their location, that is a FAC allocation that is to go to the local governments in Rivers State. And what transpired in court today is really hilarious, because many lawyers that were in court today were seriously lamenting and even citing a boycott of the courts.
Yes, the question I'm asking is, Justice Joyce,
about the magic that is happening in the court.
Where is her integrity? That is the main question. What legacy is she going to leave when she's retiring? Because all this money, all this corruption is denting her image.
What is the game plan?
Exactly. They just want to frustrate Governor Fubara. It's just frustration.
I think the game between the Wike's group and these federal high court judges is just something that is very obvious, that nobody can trust the courts again.
Exactly. Because the urgency, the way she's rushing the judgment, I wonder where she's going to.
She was moving, obviously, rushing to conclude the matter, even when there is no urgency at all.
Exactly, which is very bad.
Well, we see that today, different lawyers that send messages to us say that what she has done in 30 minutes already, even when there is no urgency, when a matter is even pending, an appeal application for joinder was given, she declined. Application to change a lawyer, she declined. Application to join local governments that they want to see their funds, she declined. Application to join Speaker Okojumbo, she declined. Application to stay proceedings, she declined. Request even for lawyers to apply for process that they were served in court, she refused and went straight to the hearing. Well, with me to have these discussions, I have Mr. Bassi, I have Mr. Tony, and of course, Mr. Christian. Well, let me start with Mr. Bassi as usual. Mr. Bassi, welcome to Hope Alive. Today again, we see the romance with the court system, Federal High Court especially. We have spoken so much about this, but it seems like Wike has become a thorn in the flesh of not just the residents of Abuja, but the thorn to Nigerians, and she is pulling a hatchet job using the Federal High Court in Abuja. And with this romance going with the Chief Justice of Nigeria, provision of housing for them, revoking of land to give to these judges, giving them vehicles and all of that seems like a job well done, and they are just obliging him whichever request is coming from the pro-Wike group. What is your thoughts, Mr. Bassi?
Good evening, Mr. Kano and Angel. Thank you for having me. Good day, Obidient, across the world, wherever you are listening from, and my co-panelists. What is happening is no longer new. My concern in all of this is that what is the role of NBA in all of this shenanigan going on in the court? Why are they allowing some of these judges to run amok in the miscarriage of justice or in the administration of the court processes? And let me also say that these judges are about to set this country on fire because of their selfish ambition. They have allowed their personal ambition to becloud their sense of judgment, that they no longer adhere to the principle of the rule of law anymore. They no longer follow guidelines. They have thrown all of those things aside because they want to please few interests. And it's sad that in time past, judges were to be heard and not to be seen. But today we see judges in social gathering, romancing politically exposed persons, doing all manner of things. In the years when you had judges who had command respect, we never saw this kind of a thing. You could even remember how a particular judge, how he or she looks like. But today we see what is happening across. I saw the picture where Wike was sitting with the chief judge of the Federation. They were even, this is, you see, for morality, this is not good. For decency, it doesn't look good. Yeah. So it clearly shows that the justice system has been hijacked by politicians.
Yeah. Yes, an interjection. I just want to cite a section of the law that was very specific for judicial, that is a code of conduct, and that is the one that Chidi cited. And that is that in 2.8, that a judge shall avoid developing excessively close relationship with frequent litigants like those from River State. Now, that very section said that such as government ministers or their officials, municipal officials, police prosecutors in any court where the judge often sits, if such a relationship could reasonably create an appearance of partiality, that is a judicial code of conduct. But you see what is happening today. Wike has revoked Julius Baja's land in Abuja, allocated such to the judges. We hear about the increment of allowances and of course buying of vehicles for them. So with this, they continue go ahead with some nonsense. I don't know the words to use on the kind of judgment that comes out from the courts. Imagine just dealing with reverse and reverse issue all the time from a court in Abuja, some even in Port Harcourt, but they are all federal high court judges. Where are their manners? I thought that this lady, the CJN Kekere-Ekun, came and said she's not going to tolerate this and she's not going to tolerate that. Why is that still happening?
I did say that she was just making a statement that was not going to be followed through. Her speech was just a normal routine, just like you would expect from any other judge. What I'm trying to say is that how come we have a federal high court in Port Harcourt, in Rivers State? Why are they not assigning these cases to the court in Port Harcourt? Why is the chief judge of the federal high court always assigning Rivers case to court in Abuja, in FCT? It clearly shows that something is amiss. In other words, they have rendered even the judges in Port Harcourt redundant in the federal high court, because they don't even have cases there. No case goes to that court. And the federal high court is actually supposed to be one wherever they are. They have one jurisdiction wherever they are located in every state. So how come that the one in FCT is the one that is being infested with River State cases? Why are they not putting those cases in, assigning those cases to federal high court in Port Harcourt? It's because of the hatchet job that is going on, that they are being planned. So these people, like I said, these judges don't mean well for this country, and they are trying to set this country on fire. And my call this evening is that if we truly have MBA, who is supposed to be the conscience of the legal profession, this is the time for them to take a position and boycott this court until sanity is restored into the system. This is what I expect the NBA to do. But the NBA has been quiet in all of these things that are going on. So we don't know what is really happening anymore. It has like the system has been hijacked from bottom top. Everybody is been captured. So I feel for the people in Rivers State, because at the end of the day, it is the Rivers people that are suffering because there is no governance going on in that state. But everybody is running from pillar to post, trying to save their head, trying to defend their case here and there. And at the end of the day, it's the common people of Rivers State that are suffering. So I would call on MBA to take a definite position and bring this shenanigan to a stop. Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you who are online asking what is actually going on in Abuja today, I want to bring it to you that what is happening is that the Federal High Court in Abuja today denied a request by the Rivers State government to stay proceedings in a suit seeking to halt the allocation of funds to the 23 local government areas in Rivers State. The presiding judge, Justice Joy Abdul-Malik, dismissed the request after hearing arguments from the State's Counsel, Goiduche, and the Plaintiff's Counsel, Joseph Dodo. The judge found the request to be unmeritorious, according to her, and mischievous. The court asserted its intent to proceed with the hearing of the suit. Then the Rivers State House of Assembly and its Speaker, the person that is the pro-Wike group, Martin Amayule, had earlier on filed the suit, urging the court to direct the Central Bank of Nigeria to withhold the state's local government allocation funds. Now, the Rivers State government opposed the hearing of the suit in Abuja, but the court overruled the objection, leading to the state government to approach the Court of Appeal to intervene. The state government, of course, subsequently filed an appeal, and that, of course, goes along with the motion to stay proceedings in the Federal High Court until the appeal is resolved. But the court today refused and wants to continue on that. So that is what is actually going on, and it is the Wike conundrum. It is the Wike's arrangement that is terrorizing everything. So that is what is happening. Let me quickly get to our owner, Mr. Tony. Let's quickly get Mr. Tony on the line. Are you there, Mr. Tony? Tony, please, can you give us your take on what is going on there as Wike is taking over Federal High Court and Tinubu seems to be aiding him?
Yeah, thank you for having me, and welcome our listeners on today's program. My view is just like you said, simple. Wike has hijacked the Federal High Court in Abuja. Other people have said the same, that Wike has taken over Federal High Court. So you are not alone in saying that. And what you can see, I think things are beginning to manifest itself. These constant trips he had with Tinubu before he made him the FCT minister, it's all a plan. It's all about electioneering. It's all about getting their way through the judges, and also to make sure that Tinubu wins Abuja next time around. That is the game plan. I don't understand really why they have a Federal High Court in Port Harcourt. which is where all these cases should emanate from, not in Abuja. You see, the Federal High Court in Abuja has been hijacked. That is where, if you want to buy justice, that is where you go. I remember clearly in Enugu State, a judge tried, in fact, she forced NYSC to accept the fact that Mr. Peter Mba, the current governor of Enugu State, obtained legitimate certificate. NYSC has denied the one Mba presented and said it did not emanate from them. But the judge said you have to accept it, whether you like it or not. The Federal High Court in Abuja has been hijacked. They have been compromised. And there's no two ways about that. So simple.
Yeah, okay, but Tony, looking at what is also going on in Kano, we understand that the same federal might is also pushing in Kano State. But of course, we can see that the Kano people are not relenting. They are actually pushing forward, and they are going to have their election whether the federal wants it or not, because that is already happening. Even we saw from the earlier on where the police came out to say, well, they got the judgment that came from the Federal High Court stopping them from going, but they are not participants in the election. They are just to oversee, to safeguard the people who are to do their election and all that. So you can see that the same thing that is happening in Rivers State is equally happening in Kano State, but Kano State seems to be a place where, I mean, they don't take no for an answer. They just have to do, and maybe Wike's might is not so visible over there because they do their thing their way.
That the election is really going to hold on Saturday. She was so sure, and I was wondering. Yeah. And I just read today that a Federal High Court in Kano wants the election to go on Saturday. So now you have conflicting judgments. But I think Kano is capable of fighting the center. They are. And I think they've also had a demonstration in the city of Kano, supporting the election hold. So the same thing is happening. I can't understand why, since they have the Federal High Court in Abuja and the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, for example, they have coordinate jurisdiction, they say. And why not go start from the state where the matter originates? And Falana has a case now where he's saying he's applying to the Chief Judge of Federal High Court to transfer, I don't remember exactly the case, to Port Harcourt, that has been done before. Because justice has to be seen to be fair, to be done. And then, that Wike has interest and is residing in Abuja, where the other litigants are in Port Harcourt, that the case should go back to Port Harcourt. That's where it belongs. So I think Kano is already resolved. I think they're having the election. But Fubara should insist. If I were him, I'll go to Federal High Court in Port Harcourt and get a judgment, just like in Kano. Get a judgment that the CJN should not block the allocation of the state. And let's see what happens. It's all these judges, particularly the judges in FCT, they have been totally compromised by Wike and Tinubu. you can't get a fair hearing, particularly where in political matters. They've just compromised everything. And Nigerians are the victims. These people have no shame. They have no shame whatsoever.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much on that. Let's get Mr. Christian's perspective on this. He's closer to the north. He understands how they are withstanding the pressure that is coming from the center. And of course, from what is also happening in Abuja, Christian is very, very close to the center of Abuja. So, Mr. Christian, tell us what the residents are talking about, what happened yesterday, and of course, the one of today. I recall that Mr. Wike had previously said he was going to make it very hot for the governors, including Fubara. And we see that he intends to do just that, as he tends to block central bank, stop central bank from sending the FAC allocation meant for the 23 local governments of Rivers State. Tell us what's your take on this and about Nyesom Wike's romance with the Federal High Court in Abuja.
Okay, the romance that is happening is just a show of confidence that what they have been doing in the hidden, they are now bringing it to the open. That Nigerians are being trampled upon, and we have no any say whatsoever. The Constitution is already written for the layman on the streets, for the masses to follow, but not for the rulers, so to say, to also abide by it. Because going by Constitution, there is no provision for that sort of romance between the executive arm and the judiciary. There ought to be a clear separation of power. As a matter of fact, the Constitution even restricts the liberty of the judiciary from attending social function organized by the judiciary. Organized by the executive. But Nyesom Wike, in his own way of trying to lobby the judiciary, he is now made the judiciary like his father's palace, where he goes, he obtains whatever judgment he wants, and he gets out with it. So I'm not surprised with the picture you saw that captioned Wike and the Attorney General of the Federation.
That is the Chief Justice of the Federation, Chief Justice Kekere-Ekun. You know what we saw earlier was like the land. Can you hear me? Yeah, he revoked the land of Julius Baja and then allocated it to the judges and building quarters for them, giving them. As a matter of fact, I think he does his breakfast and dinner in the judges' homes.
He has made the judiciary his father's palace. He visits at will, you know. So he has no regard for any separation of powers, as clearly stated in the Constitution. As a matter of fact, he's building a residential home for the judges. What else do you expect? You know, the Nigerian Constitution is designed to fail. There is no clear separation of powers. The judiciary is being treated like an arm of the executive, which is not supposed to be.
Right.
The judicial appointment of the CJN is not supposed to be done by the judiciary. Neither is it supposed to be ratified by the National Assembly. It's supposed to be done independently. That is a clear separation of power. That is not only on paper, but not in practice. As far as The presidents continue to appoint the CJN, and the National Assembly continue to ratify their appointments, then you don't expect any independence of the judiciary. That is where the problem is. Otherwise, why should an FCT minister be providing a residential home for judges? So they are ready to kiss his ass. And the situation in Kano, the Kano people already understand the ball game, that the center is not going to provide any level playing ground. So they take the bull by the horn. I fancy and I envy their style of politics. They understand the game of standing as an opposition. And they are doing it clearly and cleverly. When they conducted their election, you could see how they mounted pressure, they accompanied their result, right from polling unit to coalition center, down to state coalition center, and they ensured that the results were announced. They stood their ground. So until this model is endorsed by all states, we don't expect any miracle, because the highest they will announce whatever they want, they'll tell you go to court. Why should the why should the center, FCT, be interfering with judiciary in terms of getting judgment the way they want in respect to the LGA elections? Why? They have no any reason. They have no any right whatsoever. Every cases involving the state should be handled by the state.
The Labour Party presented polling unit results of 6.
Why should Federal High Court in Abuja be dictating for Federal High Court in Rivers State? Why? So a lot of things are wrong, and the judiciary is now so comfortable in wrongdoing. In the first place, they have no right to even entertain the case. They have no right to even hear cases involving the state. They have to go and start it from the state. It is until when there is dispute, then those who feel unsatisfied cannot appeal to the center. But without even entertaining and treating the case at the state, you just run down to Federal High Court in Abuja, because it's in Wike's pocket. So that is the genesis of Nigeria's failure of the judiciary. And you don't expect them to pass, because the center is criminal-minded and they are extorting the situation. They will never let it work. So, bottom line, there is need for drastic, comprehensive review. In short, we need the People's Constitution. We are tired of this constitutional amendment. We are tired. We need the People's Constitution, where the people of Nigeria come together to say, we, the people of Nigeria, will give ourselves this law and we abide by it. What we have is the design that is handed over to us. It's not working, and it will never work. So a lot of things need to be reviewed, put into proper perspective. People are agitating because the center is not working. How can the center work with this kind of Wike and all that, abusing power in the center? Let me just rest my case. We need the People's Constitution.
Well, thank you so much for that. And of course, it's the obvious thing that is happening in Abuja today, and that's why Wike is very, very obviously destroying houses, hoping that the maximum thing you can do is to go to court. He will ask you to go to court, knowing fully well that you will not succeed in the court. For example,
because he has the judges in his pocket.
Revoking that Julius Baja's land now, allocating it to the judiciary.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Now, the point is, how even will Julius Berger go to court to fight for the revocation of their land? It's still the same court. So, there's no justice. And Julius Berger is a company that is an investor in Nigerian society. So, I just see impunity happening.
I think the Rivers people need to wake up and say no to Wike shenanigans, just like the Kanu people did. They need to wake up and say no, because he can't keep tossing them around, because he's depriving them of development, infrastructure,
it's not
everything.
Just even about NJ. I think it's not just even about Rivers. I think the Nigerian people have to come against Wike in what he's doing in FCT.
Yeah, Nigerian people need to come out, but the major and the main people involved is the Rivers people, because he just stopped the CBN from allocating money to them, not to other
states.
The
courts.
Yes, using the courts. So they need to wake up and say no to Wike, because one person cannot be against the whole state and they will just keep quiet. They need to wake up and say no, just like the Kanu people did.
Okay, let's quickly, Angela, let's
it's
quickly
very
take
shameful. Sorry, Mr. Khan. It's so shameful because the same corruption he despised during Buhari time, saying APC has nothing good to offer to Nigerians, the same APC he's dining with, the same corruption he rejected, the same corruption he's embracing. It's so shameful.
Yeah, it is, of course. Let's quickly move away from Wike right now. So let's get to what His Excellency Peter Obi is doing. As you know, he's on a thank you tour of the United States, and he has done a tweet, of course, that is on X, which I will, of course, implore you to go check out Mr. Peter Obi's handle in X, where he said that yesterday I visited Houston, Texas, where I had meaningful conversation with the Nigerian in diaspora community. He said that it was a very valuable opportunity to listen to Nigerians abroad and engage with them directly. I encouraged everyone to keep the faith, not to lose hope, and to contribute in whatever ways they can to support the cause of a new Nigeria. Just as diaspora citizens from other countries like China, Japan, India have rallied to drive their nation's growth, to the Nigerian in Houston, he said, I extend my heartfelt gratitude for your support, which fuels our movement towards a just, equitable, and productive Nigeria. PO said that together we can all lay the foundation for a new Nigeria that is within reach, that both Nigerians at home and in diaspora are united by a common aspiration. We all desire a nation we can be proud of, a nation that works for all Nigerians. That great nation is possible and within our reach. Signed, PO. Thumbs up to Nigerians in Houston for hosting our PO, and of course, doing the right things. And I think he's headed to some other places in the U.S. So wherever you are around the U.S., just check the timeline of where POs, then try to see how you could be able to join the other Nigerians in diaspora to hear from Mr. Peter Obi, and of course the tour of continuously thanking you guys for what you have done on the last election. And of course, we are expecting that you help shape Nigeria. Most diasporans has obviously left different platforms because of what happened in Edo State, what happened in the 2023 election. But we say, if everybody leaves, what is going to happen to the people in Nigeria while we keep saying that there is hope? We are depending on your support to continue the push for a new Nigeria. Thank you very much. I think that's as much as we can take for today. We'll continue looking at what is happening in Kano State against tomorrow. And of course, we'll look at what is going to happen in Abia State, as OT has speculated, not supporting any LP local government executives and all those things. So let's see how all of them are going to pan out. But tomorrow or by Monday, we'll bring the report coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much, my active citizens and Obidient worldwide. We appreciate you, Mr. Tony, Mr. Bassi, and Mr. Christian. God bless you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. NBA, you have failed Nigerians. You need to wake up and do the needful. You need to wake up, do the needful. If not, Wike will just take the justices and the judiciary and pocket them all. And before you know it, the Nigerian will just collapse, because the way he's just going is so, in fact, I don't even know the word to use. It's so shameful, because he just condemned the same thing during Buhari. The corruption. He said nothing is good about APC, yet you are dining and eating with the same people. River State people, you need to wake up. Say no to one man. One man cannot be bigger than a whole state. It's not possible. You people need to wake up. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love you, but God loves you more. Bye for now.